everyone. Today we're going to diving at critical topic which is the basic economic problems confronting the development of the Philippines in the 21st century, which include weak infrastructure, pursuing food security, and also the slow adoption of modern technology. So let's start for the weak infrastructure. We start to discuss the weak infrastructure. Many parts here in the Philippines still lack in essential roads, bridges, and transportation networks. Poor infrastructure is one of the main problems and reason we have because of the corruption, which is many funds meant for building roads and bridges often disappear or let me say misuse. This leaves us with unfinished projects like flood control system, which are a big issue right now in 2025 to 2026. When this infrastructure isn't completed, it causes more problems like flooding during the rainy seasons, making our life more difficult. Next is about pursuing food security. Despite of having a fertile land, many of people still face hunger because first, our world population is growing. It is fast. By 2050, we could have almost 10 billion people, which means we need a lot more food. And also, a climate change is one of the problem. We can ruin our crops and also make our farming unpredictable. And also, people still live in poverty and can't afford enough healthy food. So even if it food is available, not everyone can buy it. There is a lot more problems when it comes to food security, food security. We need to work together to create better ways to grow so everyone has access to what they need. And last, let's talk about this slow adoption of modern technology. It is one also the problem today because many industry, especially for farming, still use old methods while others advance, which can lead to slowing our growth. Our workers also need training to use new technology because others want they don't know how to improve their practices and some can't afford the latest technology. And without financial help, they stick to old methods. And some others hesitant to change because they want to prepare traditional methods even when new technology could make their lives easier. So, the government and we people need to fix poor infrastructure, making sure everyone has enough food, and help people use the new technology and adapt it. With this, we can create a better and stronger future for everyone. And now, let's move to the next topic. We're going to tackle about the factor inputs. By understanding this, it will help us how the economy works, which include human resource development, temporal and spatial working conditions, sourcing funds for capital formation, own savings versus capital markets, foreign borrowing versus foreign direct investment, and market determined versus regulated rates of return. Now, first, let's talk about human resource development. Investing in education and training is crucial. When we improve our skills, we will become more productive which helps the economy grow. Human resource development is about the process of improving the skills, knowledge, and competencies of individuals within an organization or economy. It is essential because a skilled workforce is often the backbone of economic growth and innovation. Well, next is the temporal and spatial working condition. The efficiency of labor depends not only on skills but also on the conditions under which they work. When we say temporal working conditions are about how many hours people work each day. Long hours can make employee tired and less productive. And for the spatial working condition, it is about where people work and the environment they work in. Having a good schedule and a comfortable working environment make a big help and difference. And let's look at sourcing fund for growth. Funding for growth means finding the money needed to help a business grow. This could mean starting new project, increasing production, or entering new markets. Let's look at some common ways to get this money like number one, on your own savings, bank loans, investors, government grants and subsidies, and others. With this option, it is important to choose wisely. Next is savings versus capital markets, or let me say own savings versus capital markets. Let's compare these two. People can use their savings to invest, but capital markets provide other avenues for raising funds, and each of these has its own benefits. Let's more dig in about it. Your own savings refer to the money individuals or businesses set aside from their income. This can be used for personal expenses, investing, or funding business growth. The advantage for this using personal savings means no loan or interest payments. And for the disadvantage, the amount you save is limited only. Your income which may not be enough for your larger projects. For capital markets, it is about where businesses can raise funds by selling stocks, bonds, or other securities to investors. The advantage is can provide significant amount of money from a large of investors. And the disadvantage of this, it involves a fees and costs such as underwriting or legal expenses. Moving on, we will discuss next is the foreign borrowing versus foreign direct investment or FDI. Our countries or other countries have a choice. They can borrow money from abroad or attract foreign investors. Both options have their advantages and challenges. And lastly, let's talk about market rates versus regulated rates. In market rates, it determined by supply and demand in the marketplace. This means they can change based on how many people want a service or product compared to how much is available. In regulated rates, it is set by government authorities or regulatory bodies. This means they are not determined by supply and demand, but rather by rules and regulations. This factor inputs understanding to help us make better decisions for economic growth. And that's all, everyone. Thank you for watching.